Oh, it's recording.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Dean Spear, and as I like to jokingly say, I'm the senior campaign assistant as a part of the team with my other CAs and Jolynn and Nicole, who are superintending this year's effort with the UW Combined Fund Drive. And Coordinator Connections is your opportunity to do exactly that, to ask questions, problem solve roadblocks, and otherwise talk about how to make an effective and successful campaign. As is wont for most things like this, we have to do the unwritten rule, which is we have to do an icebreaker. So our icebreaker today is, given the fall weather, please tell us your name, your department, how many years you've been a coordinator, if it's your first time, if you are a rookie, or if you are an experienced coordinator, and what might be your fantasy vacation location.
Ooh,
So
that's a good one.
fantasy vacation location.
Do
Hawaii.
we do this verbally or do we do it in chat?
I'm gonna switch it so Zoom people can see audience.
Excellent, thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh, and look at that, look at the people on Zoom.
Ew.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm done.
So why don't we start with our online people, and people who are online, you are muted, and when I call on you, you'll have to unmute yourself and then remute yourself, please. And that's so we don't get audio feedback. So Casey, let's start with you, please. Please introduce yourself, what your department is, how long you've been a coordinator, and your favorite fantasy vacation spot.
Well, hi, everybody. I am so pleased to be here. My name is Casey Leichter. I am in the Department of, pardon?
He said that.
Department of Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. And
Yeah,
my
that's right.
fantasy vacation destination is Antarctica.
Hang on, Casey.
Oh, I'm still muted? I'm not muted at my end.
I could hear you just fine, Casey.
Okay.
But I don't know about the people.
Everybody
the
can hear
room.
me except the folks in the hub. Okay.
You're in the hub.
Can you hear me now, hub guys?
You now, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to do this again. Hi, everyone. I am very pleased to be here. My name is Casey Leichter, and I'm in the Department of Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at UW Medicine. And my favorite fantasy vacation destination is Antarctica.
Oh, wow. Very, very, can I say literally cool? So thank you, Casey. And if you yourself, and let's move on to Andy Huang, please.
Sorry about the mask. I was just trying to do a little Halloween thing going on since it's Halloween weekend coming up. But I'm Andy Huang. I'm with UW IT department, and I've been with UW for a year and a half. This is the first time I'm being a coordinator. Just to FYI, since we're talking about coordinator, next week, if you're on campus, Monday through Friday, if you go to Me Some Pastry and just write UWCFD Combined Fund Drive, 10% will go to the fund drive. All right, 10% of all your purchase for at Me Some Pastry. And on the 17th, we're having I already set up an event at Mountaineering Club. It's on the rooftop on the 16th floor of the Graduate Hotel. On the 17th Wednesday. Yeah, this is my first year being a coordinator, and my fantasy would be the Caribbean. Just go back there again. It's the best beach I ever seen.
Terrific. And Andy, could you put those bargains in the chat, please, so we can capture them and send them out to everybody? So
Yeah, definitely.
lovely. Thank you, Andy. Next I see is Brooke. Brooke, if you would unmute yourself and tell us your name and how long you've been a coordinator and your fantasy vacation location.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brooke Emmerich. I'm with the Department of Lab Medicine and Pathology in the Medical Center. It's my third year being a coordinator with lab medicine. I also was a coordinator for a few years in my former department, OBGYN. So I think it's like 5 or 6 years, something like that. I've lost track. I really couldn't think of a good answer for my fantasy vacation, although I really like Casey's answer of Antarctica because I recently read a great book about it, and I do want to go there now. But right now, I think I just want to go to this pumpkin tunnel I'm in. Can I please go there? That sounds nice.
Super duper. Thank you, Brooke. Next would be Erin. Erin, if you tell us your name, your department, how long you've been a coordinator, and also your fantasy vacation, please. Thank you.
Hi, I'm in the office, as you can tell. My name's Erin Mercer. I'm at the HR department, campus operations, and this is my first time being a coordinator. And fantasy vacation would be anywhere in Europe at this point because I've never been. So, yep.
Fabulous. Thank you, Erin. Sherry, you are next. Thank you. And Sherry and I share a connection. We have both taken ballet class together many, many times. So Sherry and I can talk ballet to each other, which we sometimes do. So Sherry, please tell us a little more about yourself, please. And you'll need to unmute yourself. Okay. Sherry, thank you for your responses. Police Department, 8 years, and Fiji and Aruba. Wonderful. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. And we're letting someone else in. Thank you. And we just let you in, but would you mind unmuting yourself and telling us your name, your department, how long you've been a coordinator, and your best fantasy vacation location?
My best fantasy location. So hi, I'm Ann Rockmore. I'm in UWIT Information Management, and this is my first year as a coordinator. Andy and I are co-coordinators for UWIT. And wow, there are so many places I would love to go. But if I had to narrow it down to one, it would be a cruise through the fjords of Norway. That's the top of my bucket list.
Anybody that I have missed? Okay. Well, I'm just thrilled to introduce Diana, who is an experienced coordinator, and she's going to come and tell us about some of her best practices, and then we will open up for the next agenda item. So you can either stay there. Oh, sorry, I apologize. People who are in the audience. Oh, and there's one more coming in. So, while Anna's being admitted, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself, please? I'm looking at you. Okay, so, sorry.
Hi, everybody. I am Ellen, and I work for Huang. I've been a coordinator now my second year, but last year wasn't exactly the same, so I'm sitting this 1.5. And my favorite activity for vacation would be somewhere in the Alps. Haven't decided where, I don't care, but that's my vacation.
Oui, d'accord. Diana, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Diana Knight, she, her. I work in the Department of Chemistry, and this is my 8th year being a coordinator. I don't know where my fantasy vacation is because there are probably lots of them. I would love to go to Botswana or somewhere. I'm not very familiar with many places in Africa, America, but somewhere in the sub-Saharan continent, or I just want to see open land. So I'll choose that.
Super. And did you three want to go? Or are we going to pass?
Okay, everybody, once again, my name is Mila Sawa. I'm campaign assistant for this year. This is my first time being a campaign assistant. I've introduced myself to you many times before, but in case you've forgotten, this is what I look like. As for my dream vacation place, that's really, really far too, but definitely somewhere in Japan. I would like to go to a forested, more rural area, and maybe like Miyazaki, but that might be like hardcore mode. So maybe somewhere more like Ibaraki would be my go-to place. And that's about it.
I'm Annabelle. I'm another campaign assistant. And there is a little island off of the South Island of New Zealand that there's like a terrifying ferry to get to. And I really want to try that. I think that'd be so fun.
Thank you. Cool.
I'm Kate Montebello. I'm another one of the campaign assistants. And I think my dream spot right now would be Brazil. I don't know if I want to go to the rainforest or Rio or somewhere. Yeah.
Brazil. Excellent. Wonderful.
Maybe Hannah.
And thank you. And let's hear from Anna. Anna, you'll need to unmute yourself. And we are telling each other what our names are, the department we work for, how long you've been a coordinator, and your fantasy vacation location.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Hi, let me see if I can get my. Hi, everyone. My name's Anna. I am from Northwest Hospital, and this is my second year as a campaign assistant. And a dream vacation, I have a couple, but I would love to go to Italy, and Thailand is where my parents are from, so love to go back there one day. So.
Thank you, Anna. And Anna is one of my coordinators and we've been having a lot of fun working together. So thanks, Anna, for being here. Again, my name is Dean, and I retired from the University of Washington out of the School of Law, where I worked for 26.5 years, but my career at the university encompassed well over 30 years. This is my 5th year as a campaign assistant. And my fantasy location would be anywhere that someone else would pay for. But I have a cousin who lives on a little island in the Virgin Islands. It's the island next to St. Thomas, and I've never been. And I would love to go to the Virgin Islands someday. So that would be my fantasy. So thank you everyone again for being here. And now we will turn it over to Diana. So you want to come up front, or were you comfortable?
Sure, yeah,
all right.
I can, whatever.
Thank you. And we will turn it to you.
Yeah, just that top button. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. So as I said earlier, I've been a campaign coordinator for a handful of years. And so I just have a couple of thoughts with you all on engaging your units and coworkers in the combined fund drive. I'd love to hear more about Andy's fundraisers and how he arranged those, because those sound incredible. And I will return to that thought later down my list. But the first thing I want to mention is visibility and awareness. And so anything you can do to remind people about the combined fund drive or introduce the combined fund drive to them. So on the tools on the website, there's this document that you can print out that says I am your campaign coordinator, and I hang that on my office door every year. So you can print that, put it on your door, your cubicle, your workstation, and that way whenever people walk by, they'll see it. These past couple of years have obviously been really interesting because of remote work, and then this year with, I think a lot of units have hybrid schedules. So some of the things that you do in person obviously aren't effective online because they're not visible. So you need to put them in multiple places. So you could put in your email signature that you're the campaign coordinator, or a link to the combined fund drive, and just have that as a temporary signature that you save in your email for the campaign dates, October through December. And then of course, bad example today, but wear your t-shirt. A lot of us have the combined fund drive masks from last year, and I wonder maybe if the campaign still has some masks left over. So Dean says they do. So if you want a mask, maybe you can ask for one of those. In previous years, there have also been these buttons and that say I give. And I have several of those, so you can pin them on whatever you're wearing that day, or your jacket, or if you have a sweater you always wear in the office, you can just stick it on there. So it's there for people to see and to be a reminder of. And then communication. So after the awareness, then you have communication. And so in my department, I have done primarily email campaigns even before we were remote working. Everyone's unit is a different size. Obviously, my unit has more than 160 eligible employees to give. And so those employees include faculty members, staff, and postdoctoral researchers. And so a lot of these people in our department, we wouldn't have any immediate work reason to see each other or communicate or meet. And fortunately, I was able to easily get an email list from my department of all of these groups, so I can email them directly. I guess in your units, you would have to, depending on your role, you might not have immediate access to that and would have to request that from your administrators. But that is very helpful, and I would highly recommend doing that. If you're in the building, or if all of your employees are located in the same building, posting signs around the department, and again, those are on the Combined Fund Drive website. And then a lot of us are now using work chat applications like Teams, Discord, Slack. So post notices, announcements, reminders, info on there. And some of the info you can share is on the website. There are impact statements. And then just talking to your coworkers. So there have been some days where I will just block out a little bit of time to go walk down the hall and knock on someone's door and just say, hey, do you know about the Combined Fund Drive? And then they'll say no. And you'll say, can I tell you about it? I'm the campaign coordinator for our department. And then you quickly give them the elevator pitch. Or a personal testimony as to why you support it or why you like it. And then if they do, thank them for giving, or maybe they know about it, but they don't give. So you can ask them if they participate, why or why not. Some people are comfortable sharing this, some people aren't. I've had people tell me, oh, my spouse takes care of our charitable giving, so I'm not going to give through payroll deduction. And that's fine. Just move on and talk to your next coworker. It's not, I think one thing I like about promoting the Combined Fund Drive is that I don't really feel like I need to convince anyone to give. I feel like a lot of people already do give. It's just which organizations are they giving to, what vehicle are they using to direct their donations. And if someone says, oh, I already have all my charitable giving set up through recurring credit card charges or whatever, then you can, I guess there's a couple of routes you could go. You could say, okay, thank you, never mind. Or you can say, that's great. Have you considered the benefits of giving to the combined fund drive? And for me, those benefits are, I like fewer transactions to review in my finances. So if I don't have several recurring credit card charges or PayPal transactions or debits, and I'm checking my checking account and my credit card statement and all these different accounts, I know it just comes out of my paycheck. And then earlier in my career when, you know, I was budgeting very, very tightly, I liked that it wasn't even my money. It was coming out before I was even getting it. So I knew I was prioritizing my giving. So I still really like just like having it come out before it reaches me. And then another thing you could ask is, even if they give in another way, or if they don't give to charity at all, you could ask them, would you like to join our community of donors? The University of Washington has very generous employees. The University of Washington alone gives more to charities through our combined fund drive than several, you know, entire states of state employees. And then you can ask them, all it takes is $1. And just having that $1 payroll deduction is enough to count them among a participant of the combined fund drive. So it really takes very little to participate. But if everyone in your department who didn't currently participate gave $1, that would be several more dollars for these great causes that we care about. So know your audience and your donors. Like I said, my unit has postdocs in it, and a handful of years ago, my colleague told me, don't tell the postdocs about the combined fund drive. We don't want to ask them to give money because they don't make a lot of money as it is, so we don't want to ask them to give up any of their money. And I'm sorry, but that's not our choice. We don't know what our coworkers' financial situations are. And maybe even if they do make less than we think they deserve, they still want to give a portion of their paycheck to charity. So that's not our choice to decide for them. I'd rather let them know about it so they can decide for themselves. And then knowing who you work with and what their interests are helps you engage them with relevant activities that they want to support and be a part of. So if you're a campaign coordinator and you know very few of your coworkers, this is a great opportunity to get to know them. I, like I said, have been a coordinator for a handful of years, and I would, hopefully you're enjoying the experience so far and you want to come back. I highly recommend doing it more than 1 year because it only gets better. And you get new ideas. Some of your ideas you might not be able to implement this campaign season because it's going to take a little bit of planning time, but you can start planning for next year. So when you know your coworkers, you can come up with relevant activities and ways to engage them. Some of that could be through events. I know that there have been several units that have done like chili cook-offs or like things that their department like really has a lot of involvement in that everyone gets into. Doing a chili potluck during this weird remote hybrid COVID time might not be for this year. Maybe your group of coworkers is comfortable with it, but I have a coworker who's a very talented magician, and he has offered to do a magic show. And And we ask for like a $5 donation to the future charity for admittance, and we have a blast. And so if you have a coworker who has this special talent that they're willing to share for a good cause, use it.
That's so cool.
It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. And then everyone likes a good, healthy competition. So like with the coin jars, previous years, I think we've done combined fund drive wide, like coin jar competitions where we vote between like apple pie and pumpkin pie, and whatever money ends up, which one ends up raising more money is the winner. And there's no point except to be like, I love apple pie and everyone else does too, and I told you apple pie is the best. But that's fun. And again, if you know your colleagues, you can do that in your own unit and decide what they would be passionate about asserting is the best, like Star Trek versus Star Wars or something like that. And then you can also have competitions with other units on campus. So if your units are different sizes, it might make sense to do participation instead of dollars raised or something like that, but like a percentage of participation. Or you can choose a similarly sized unit, or even better would be like a unit that there is already some kind of something, for like chemistry, we might compete with chemical engineering because we have a lot of collaborations in our research, and depending on what kind of science you do, there are very few distinctions between whether your work belongs in a chemistry department or a department of chemistry. So things like that. So on the note of events, and coming back to these fundraisers that Andy set up that we just learned about, one of the things you can do if you feel like, I don't think I can plan an event, or I don't think the people in my department are really going to rally and come together for a department specific event, just piggyback on the things that everyone else is doing. So promote the events and the fundraisers that the Combined Fund Drive is already having, like the Evergreen Wreath fundraiser, and what other
That's like the big one right
Okay.
now, honestly. There's the CFD wide virtual point jar.
we have the virtual coin jar, and of course we already have the silent auction.
Yeah.
So that is definitely something, if you missed promoting it to your colleagues this year and you plan to come back as a coordinator next year, make sure you do that. In past years, when we had the nonprofit fair in person, I would send a personal invitation to a specific group of people in my department and not BCC them, but like email it to them so they know who all is getting the email, that it was a select group of people saying, hey, do you want to come to this charity fair with me? You have a chance to win a GoPro camera. You get to learn about these cool charities. Every year I go, I either enjoy seeing the people from my favorite charity again, or I learn about a new charity that I never even knew existed, and they're doing awesome work. And that was really cool because the year I did that, I just selected a research group in our department that had several research scientists and postdocs that I knew were eligible to participate through payroll deductions. And they were all like, yeah, and I didn't even know them that well. It wasn't like we were work friends to begin with. And like 5 of them came with me, and it was awesome. So, take chances like that. I think the personal communications are really effective. But yeah, if you can't do it all by yourself, or you don't think, you're going to get a lot of collaboration from your own department, but you might be able to effectively promote the campaign so that people in your department quietly give and participate. Definitely keep on promoting the things that are going on in other units on campus, which is why this meeting is so valuable, because we get to learn about what we're doing. And I think there's a Facebook group for, oh, our campaign assistants don't know about this. I think Jolynn, do you know about this, Dean? There's, okay, so UW Combined Fund Drive has a Facebook page,
Yes,
but there's also a Facebook group called Coordinator Connections, I think.
I'll double check that, I believe.
And I went on Facebook this morning before I came to this meeting to go check, and then got distracted with something else in my Facebook feed, and I never made it.
That would have been good to know about.
Oh, and then this.
Oh, yes.
I printed this out. My coworkers make fun of me because I still use paper, but this was one of the emails we got. It's the campaign quick guide. If you can see it, maybe the people on Zoom can a little. The people in the room probably can't. This is coffee stained all over the place, okay? Like Jolynn says, our campaign runs on coffee and chocolate, and that is definitely true for me. But I keep this on my desk. I check off the things as we do them in the campaign. There's a couple of things that I put check boxes next to for me and for my department. So the wreath sale, when I buy a wreath, I check it off. And when I promote it to my department, I check it off. The online auction, me, department. When I bid in the auction, I check it off. And when I shared it with my department, I checked it off. So definitely keep up the communications. You may not hear back from anyone, but you may see the progress in your weekly reports from your campaign assistants, and you may get delightful surprises like this morning when a grad student came in. Oh my gosh, my cell phone's ringing. I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good.
That means it's time for me to shut up and sit down. Thank you for your time. The two surprises I want to share with you is this grad student came in when I advertised our coin jar competition, which is trophy cupcakes versus cupcake royale.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I told everyone to clean out their desk drawers because I know they have like spare change in there that they're not going to spend. This grad student came down with this like huge bucket of coins and just like dumped it in the coin jars. And then I saw this postdoc yesterday who stopped by the office for something else and said, hey, I really appreciate your enthusiastic emails about the combined fund drive. And I was, so it's a great experience. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Thank you for letting me talk for so long, and I hope some of that was valuable.
That was perfect.
And before you leave the lectern, are there any questions for Diana, either from our Zoomers or from those in the audience? We love questions.
I have a question for Andy. I know you put in the chat the info about the Mountaineering Club and Me Some Pastries. Do you have like a flyer or anything that you can share? You do. Okay, send it to your campaign assistant
Yeah, I
so
can
they
send it
can
out, Andy.
share it.
Okay,
I'll send it to everyone. Put it in like the Friday email.
okay, that'd be great. Awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm interested about your email communication. I mean, as a campaign assistant, I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat trying to get everyone just interested. And I know a lot of my emails go out to broader spaces.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things on emails. There have been years in the past where I've been like super organized and diligent and scheduled, and my emails go out on a consistent basis. And then there's other years where I'm like, oh crap, haven't sent an email in a while. So one thing I have been doing this year to help me send emails at least once a week, and I highly recommend sending more than one email a week. It kind of sounds like spam, but people see it and delete it because they don't want to read it, or people are busy and they mean to read it and then they forget, and when you send the next one, they'll read it. So it's only for a short amount of time, like mid-October through after Thanksgiving. It's not that bad. Multiple emails a week. But what I've been doing this year to help me send at least one a week is when I get Jolene's Friday bulletin, I steal a lot of what she puts in her bulletin and just forward to my department. And then I add some relevant things for my department. I've also been emailing our graduate students, even though they're unable to give through payroll deductions. I've been sharing with them the ways that they can participate through like the coin jar competition or the wreath sale with a credit card purchase, the lunch and learns, things like that, just so they know that our UW community does this kind of work. Outlook users and Google users, Gmail and Outlook each have this function called schedule send. I think in Gmail it's called schedule send, and in Outlook it's called delay send.
Yes.
And so if you wanted to take the time to plan several emails and draft your emails all at one time for the campaign, when you do them that far in advance, they're not always like super relevant, like up to date. But if you just want to do some reminders, or at least schedule a few reminders over the course of the campaign, you can sit down and do it all at once. And then in Gmail, there's this like down caret next to the send button, I think. And if you click that, it says schedule send. And then you can pick the time and date that the email will be sent out. And then in Outlook, it's under options. The only issue with that is that, especially with the Outlook application, not the web app, you need the application open at the time you schedule the email to send. So you can't have it scheduled to send at like 3 in the morning if you're not on your computer at 3 in the morning. What it will do is when you log on in the morning, it will take whatever's sitting in your outbox that was supposed to be sent and then send it as soon as you log on. I don't know if that's true for the web app or for Gmail. The other kind of problem with that delay send in Outlook, if you use more than one device, like a laptop and a desktop, or your laptop at home and your work issue laptop, it's, if you use the Outlook app, it saves it in the app instead of online. So that specific computer and that specific app has to be open. Emails. What I do when I send emails is I often draft it and send it to myself first, like my personal email, because as I'm drafting it, I'm like, I'm gonna make this bold so it catches people's attention. And then once it shows up in my inbox and I'm reading it like a recipient, I'm like, oh, that really wasn't that effective, or like that doesn't look good, or that didn't catch my eye. And so I always test send them to myself before I just send them out. And again, this has to do with knowing your audience, right? Like, I think a lot of people want to be able to just skim an email and get the point of it. So keep it short, keep it to the point. It does take time to like edit and proofread and stuff like that to make sure you're to the point. Oftentimes I'll start typing and be like, I'm going to tell you about this thing, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very end is my actual point. And then I'm like, wait a minute, let's start with my point. And then if people want to keep reading for more details, they can get it. So I usually end up like inverting my entire email. What else, Annabelle?
That's awesome.
I have one question, one comment. My comment is just coming to mind. What you last said is, we've been working at the University of Washington. People will look at your grammar and punctuation, and if it's not correct, they're going to judge your email. And it's not everybody does that, but some people do.
Yeah.
And then the other thing
Casualty of working in higher ed.
Yes. And what do you do with the financial progress reports that we send you every week?
So I will always do a participation goal in my department. And ooh, that reminds me, I have this thermometer that I usually put up in our front office that shows our progress to the goal, and I haven't put that up this year. But that people used to stop by the front office and they're like, oh, the thermometer went higher.
We're trying to get a house one for the Lehigh because it's the goal.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cute?
Yeah.
I'll try and get that out.
So in my emails this year, I've been telling people our goal is, I should know this, I don't even know what the goal is, 40 or 41%. I think it's 40% participation. And we're currently about 23%, I think. And it's interesting because some years we have like shattered our goal. And we've reached 40% participation before. The year we reached 40% participation, I think our goal was 28% participation. And then other years when our goal was like less than 40%, we didn't even reach our goal. So that shows you the importance of an engaged campaign coordinator, because I can tell you there have been some years that I wasn't on top of it as other times. So in my weekly email, I'll tell people we have X percentage participation. Our goal is this by this date. There was one year where in my last, it was either the week before the last week to give or the last week to give, I was sending emails at least once a day saying, come on, people, you got to do this. Like, get on it. We got to reach our goal. And the funny part is, people want to reach that goal, even if they're like, I don't really care about the combined fund drive. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this person, my coworker is like, come on, let's do it. And like, no one's responding. I got to respond. And so it really, you got to beat the drum, and people will hear you. So don't be discouraged. The one year when I was super persistent with my emails, our department administrator praised me for my, I forget the exact words, he said something like persistent and kind reminders about combined fund drive. Yes, they were persistent. Like, thanks. That's what you see. So, that's awesome. Yeah, keep at it.
Great, thank you so much again.
Way too much time.
No, that was really perfect. I also asked you questions. So. Does anybody on Zoom? Oh, well, I guess I could change the look. Does anybody on Zoom want to share anything that they're doing right now, or brainstorm ideas? Anyone in the room, or questions? Other questions about just what events they're trying to put on or anything? Feel free to unmute yourself.
I'm thinking of, well, I'm planning to do a supply drive for Lehigh. But I'm struggling a little bit with the reality of doing that when people aren't in the office full time. And our department's like really, really big and spread out across multiple locations. So I'm trying to decide if it's possible or logistically a good idea even to like set up boxes in multiple locations or just have them in one location. And then I already talked to Dean about setting up a payment link so that anyone who can't physically bring in bed sheets or whatever can just like make a financial donation. And my idea I got from like the silent auction had an item that was like, donate $70 and then it will go to a gift basket. So I was thinking of setting a goal. So every time, so like our initial goal is let's raise $70 for one basket. And then our second goal would be like, oh my gosh, we did it. Then we'll like go to our next goal, which will be, let's do whatever, what is it, $140? I can't do math, for 2 baskets. I really think that will work well in our department, and we'll just do it all over email. But then I also think it's a good idea to give people the option to bring stuff in. Just like, what if they just happen to have like unopened bed sheets? That happens sometimes, they could donate that stuff. So yeah, I think my only debate is sort of like the logistics of collecting and then delivering the items. But I did want to say that last year we did an event, and it was a some of you might have heard of this. We did a virtual comedy show.
Yeah.
That's another good example of like taking advantage of a talent. And it was actually just someone who knew a comedian who was basically bored during the pandemic and was like, sure. And for that, we set a goal. I think the goal setting is really key, like whether it's participation or dollars. And I said, you know, whatever it was like probably like $500, like not a, or there was just a goal. And we smash that goal, and then we smash the next goal, and then we smash the next goal. And people, I do think that momentum like really gets people kind of pumped up as a department, because I got really like a lot of positive feedback, and people were like, and it felt like we were participating. And I don't have that this year, and I'm really basically just hoping this new idea is like something people will get behind, because I really don't have anything else. A lot of our events we've done in the past involved food. And it just still is not something we can do, especially at UW Medicine. Their like rules are pretty tight there. One thing we did in the past, just to put out another idea, was that went really well, was dollars for donuts. And someone that I work with just like went and bought the donuts. So she was like, her donation was to buy the donuts. And then we just like had people put money in a jar, but then also we had the payroll deduction forms out. So like they could just quickly like be like, oh, I'll just donate $10 or whatever this way. So I don't think we can do that this year still. I don't think it's a good idea to have people crowding around and taking donuts out of a box. But if there's a virtual way to do that safely, then, you know, people love food. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know how you feel about Amazon, but there is the Lehigh basket.
They have a wish list on.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, we have a sheet that we can send out that has all the links to stuff. So then maybe if people wanted to participate through those links, they could.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that. I got some other information through Dean, like in his like weekly emails, but I don't think we got the Amazon stuff, or maybe I missed it.
Put the address as like wherever you think would be best, and then even Dean or one of us could come pick up all that stuff and just drop it off at Lehigh.
Yeah.
But that would help eliminate people from everywhere having to walk in and donate the stuff themselves.
Yeah. Can you guys pick up from any locations that are outside of UW campus? Like, just out of curiosity, we can arrange something if not. Like if we have for example, we have a Northgate office, and we have Harborview, and we have a building on East Lake. Like we're everywhere.
Patients are fine. Our job is to distribute the boxes and pick up the boxes wherever you would like them.
Okay.
So it's not a logistical problem for us. So wherever you want to set them up, we will make sure that they get there, have your drive, and we will pick them up and make sure they get to the time. So
Awesome. Thanks. You guys rule. Thank you.
you're welcome. Absolutely.
I had a couple questions I wrote in the chat too that maybe not have been seen. First of all, is Combined Fund Drive doing the dueling coin jars again? Or is it just like a single like open-ended coin jar?
I think it's just open-ended. There's only one link, and there's not the voting option.
That's what I thought. Okay, because last year it was like a really nice way to. I just shared that out with the department, and I felt like it was fun. But if I'm gonna do the other thing I was just talking about, I don't think I want to set up like my own dueling coin jars, because it's like more work than I want to do.
I think that's a good
By
idea.
the way, I think I invented the dueling coin jars. I definitely did the Star Trek versus Star Wars and like whatever. Last year I remember they did the favorite Halloween candy. That was a good one.
We actually do have virtual coin jars set up by quite a number of them, and many people are doing dueling Halloween candy, Star Trek, trick versus treat. The virtual coin jars that you want.
We can also absolutely make a dueling one, like CFD wide. That wouldn't be a problem. So it's good to know that people really liked it.
We liked it.
Okay, we can make one and send it out for sure.
Because I think like you send it out initially and you say they're doing this thing and you can donate and pick your favorite. And then later on you say, who won,
Yeah.
and then if possible, how much money was raised in the process, I think is kind of cool way to share it. And that's how I used to do like our physical coin jars. I think physical coin jars are not going to work in our department. And I think you guys aren't even handing them out this year. I mean, I don't know if there's still a coin shortage, but there was.
We have-
So-
there are coordinators who've asked for coin jars because they still have people physically coming into their areas. So there are a handful that are checked out.
Okay. And then my other question, which I could also email someone about this, but while they were talking about having a participation goal, which is not something I've done before. When you see when you get those numbers back each week, does it include one-time donations? So like if you see that your percent went up?
Yes, it includes one time and includes all donations.
That's why it goes back down at the beginning of the campaign. So if you've noticed like your participation number in October is lower than your participation number in December or in January with the final count. And then next year at the start of the campaign, it keeps all of the recurring
Thank you,
people,
Wendy.
but all those one-time people who participated the previous year aren't counted yet until they give their one-time gift again. So the people who give recurring are already counted in the participation.
Okay, that's kind of helpful.
Also, just a heads up, the silent auction we did, people seem to really like it, and that's another thing that we, as Diana was talking about, trying to push out what the CFD does, and since there's kind of a lull, we're thinking about doing another one for our last week to give.
Yeah.
So hopefully this kind of few weeks right now before the last week to give stuff really happens can be a time where departments can do their own things or just push out the CFD-wide virtual coin jars. But then again, when we have that last week to give, we'll make a bunch of flyers and stuff like that for each day so people can really push out that and use that as a way to get their participation goals up. Cool. Does anybody else have any questions? We have a few minutes left, and we wanted to do a little door prize for the people who are left.
We do. And this is so well planned. Camille just randomly generated a couple of numbers between 1 and 20. We've got it already done.
Well, yeah, I put numbers by people's names who came.
Perfect. Okay. So.
Yes, that's.
And I hope everybody doesn't mind, but I should have said this at the beginning. I recorded this meeting. A lot of people signed up who did not show up.
Okay. All right.
Would everybody be okay if I shared out? Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
Guess I'll be doing the last bit of updates and then door prizes.
Perfect.
Yes, great.
Awesome. I don't know how to
Nice to know.
change the camera.
Top one. Yep, there you go.
I'm very small. Okay. Notes because I have memory retention of goldfish. Let's see here. All right. So some reminders about events that are out there. Okay. Some reminders of some events that are happening. Lunch and Learn Literacy and Education hosted by yours truly. It's happening next week, Wednesday. Then we have the Roots Code Drive, brand new, coming out to you. So you can ask your campaign assistant for any number of donation boxes you'd like. And we'll have them ordered and sent out to you ASAP. Now, a couple notes about the Roots Code Drive. We're looking, limit is about, our goal is about 100 coats. They must be clean and new. In addition, if you cannot do coats, we also appreciate underwear and socks, which absolutely have to be new. No second hands, please.
The coats can be secondhand.
The coats can be secondhand, but definitely we don't want secondhand socks and underwear. That would not be desirable to anybody, I'm sure. Then And last is, we do still have the wreath sale, but it is going out very soon. So if you want a beautiful wreath or door swag in time for the Christmas holidays to grace your doorway and impress your friends and neighbors, it is ending on the 7th. So get your orders in now while it still lasts. Last but not least, I believe you have find this as having a B-rated movie, something about women on Mars, not women on Mars, but like a Mars movie with the director coming in. So if you're interested, ping me and I will.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
The director is showing up. It's a very strange B-rated movie, but I will give you anybody who's interested more information on that. And they tend to have a really cool movie night time for Halloween. And now I believe it is time for door prizes.
It is. And Camille, could you minimize or just move the chat so I can see who's still online? And
We've lost a few people, but it's fine.
That's all right.
That means you'll just.
Okay. You're gonna hold up one of them and we'll see who's getting it.
Can they see? Oh, it's right. Okay, for our first door prize, I don't know if you can see that. We have this adorable flip to hold your phone, labeled
Nature, it's all Nature Conservancy.
Nature and Conservancy, along with this cup warmer. Keep your drinks nice and toasty or cold. And this wonderful, lovely shirt, also of the Nature Conservancy. If I can read that backwards, I can. This is size, if I don't drop everything, medium, cruise neck.
All right, who's getting it? Dean?
that would be Ann.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Ann Rockmore?
Yes.
Wow, thanks.
Welcome.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Also getting a complimentary tote bag, which I will be putting everything in, and we can ship that out to you as soon as possible.
All right, and our next one?
Our next prize is this very toasty hat from the Puget Soundkeeper. It is this lovely blue, so it will complement all of your clothing, most of it. Then we also have this super duper cool shirt from the Puget Soundkeeper as well.
Isn't that the coolest logo?
It's really cool. It is size large, crew neck, and this will definitely be a topic opener that you can impress and get people to donate through CFD.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also get another complimentary green flag from Hopelink as with the other prize. Dean, who's the
The
prize
lucky
winner?
winner is right behind us. It's Ellen.
Yay.
I'm low key.
Okay. Oh, it's really cool. It is 11. I'm gonna. Thank you again, everybody. This was awesome. I didn't really know how the hybrid would work out. So this is great. And I really appreciate everyone for coming, and we will be following up, and all of your ideas were amazing. I think the dual CFD wide coin jar is awesome.
Thanks, Brooke.
Yeah, Brooke, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you all my Zoom people for coming. I really appreciate you
Yes.
all.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you'll be hearing from all of us tomorrow in our weekly Friday updates. Woo! All right.
Great.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
Thank you.